Welcome to My Favorite CX, a podcast that celebrates exceptional customer experiences. To listen to today's, please choose from one of the following options.
Welcome to My Favorite Customer Experience. I'm your host, Chris Holt from Holt CX Consultancy here in the UK, and I'm joined today by Angel Humez from Mentors CX. Angel, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Honored to be here.
Angel founded Mentors CX in 2024 and works across the customer experience industry to pair mentors with mentees, so people looking for guidance and mentorship so they can build their knowledge and their career within customer experience. In addition to his role at Mentors CX, Angel is also head of marketing for Horatio, a next generation technology enabled customer support outsourcing firm. I'm guessing we're going to talk a bit more about Mentors CX though today, Angel. So why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself, what brought you to founding it, and what you do?
Yeah. Thank you. Cute dog, by the way. I started a little bit about myself. I am originally from Honduras. I now live in Berlin in Germany, so quite different. But yeah, I started my career in customer support when I was 17 back in Honduras. I worked at a traditional call center, and that's how my journey started. Since then, I moved on into leadership roles. Eventually, at the same time, I was actually studying acting. So I did film work, I did some filmmaking and theater as well. And then just eventually moved into in-house video producer for a BPO that I was working at. And then eventually moved into marketing. I got more into the analytics side of it, and then just eventually moved into marketing. Had the chance to completely transition to digital marketing for me to be able to move here with my partner. That's kind of like how it happened with the transition. And but for me, it was like I was always that annoying for some people, annoying marketing person bringing in CX into, as a first thing. It's like, sure, that would work as a marketing technique, but it's not the best experience, so let's not do that, right? I was always that person in the room. So always for me, CX is in my DNA, like I started there and it's just still part of me. So yeah, it's kind of like how I got into marketing. And then one day I was stuck in like a marketing problem, and I couldn't ask anyone else. I was like the expert at my company. I knew the most about that topic, and I had to go out and look for someone. And I found this mentorship platform, became a mentee. At the end of the day, it was a glitch, so no one could help me. It was a Google Analytics issue. And then, I eventually became a mentor. And then just discussing with other friends as well, like, there was a mentorship platform for coding, right? Like for business, for product, for marketing. Like it was just these different platforms, but there was nothing specific for CX that I knew of. And when I was doing the research, couldn't find anything. And actually, it's kind of confirmed now with the AI overview, because if we go and say customer experience mentorship platform, like we're there, and we don't have a lot of content yet. So that's just because there's not a lot. Like it doesn't exist, right? Like we are a CX mentorship platform. So and yeah, like just, that was one of the things, right? It was not the only thing, just like we saw that gap. But then as well, for me, it was very easy to get that approved as a, just like a marketing expense. So the same day, really fast. But I knew that in support, it's very different as well. Like it's just like how budget works with marketing and then support. And I just wanted to build something useful and valuable for the community that we could be more affordable, And also at the same time, I was working in the company where we had like really great CX leaders, and I didn't see that knowledge transfer, like it was just not happening that much. I was someone who was trying to always be into, mentorship, either as a mentee and asking people or as a mentor, but it was not like a common practice. And not only that, also another thing was like it was kind of failing when it came to like the management of it. Like you would have a kickoff call, and then that's it. Like you forget a booking, and then you didn't follow up, or they didn't follow up, and then you forget, and then never went anywhere. So just making that system as well like easier. So it's like a few things collectively coming together and finding a really great co-founder as well that we were already co-working, spending a lot of time together. So we started building it together almost 2 years ago. We started building it, yeah, like September 2023, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, like just starting, the AD and everything. So crazy.
I think one of the points you said there really resonates with me because I came into the industry well over 20 years ago now, which is depressing. But I came in from a university course into I had a telecoms module in my final year that was meant to happen and ironically didn't. And I came in as a placement student and just sat under the learning tree of people that were willing to share. And that's how I learned, and that's how I then transferred knowledge as I grew. And I've ended up being a mentor inadvertently. Sometimes I've proactively gone out and done mentoring as well. And it fascinates me how people approach it. There are still, coming from an engineering background, there are still people that believe if I hold on to my knowledge, my job is safe. I'm more valuable. And I've always looked at it the other way of disperse of your knowledge, help everyone win, and then you're still valuable because you're that person that helps other people grow. And there's a great phrase of like the rising tide helps all boats. And I've seen it in so many companies though, where you'll get like a little group of people and they're like, oh, we need to keep this to ourselves. And like, well, that only benefits you. Your boat goes all the way up here. Everyone else is down here waiting for scraps until you maybe help them or enable them. I think that's where mentoring is a really important thing because, you said there you had exceptional leaders, but they weren't necessarily, unless you were close to them, they probably weren't getting their knowledge out there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like as well, it's not like they didn't want to, right? Like if you approach them, they would gladly say yes, but which is not a thing, like happening. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's just, really sharing, helping others is yeah, it's just very beneficial for yourself, for everyone, the organization, like for everyone, really.
I think it's massive as well. You look at I put out like weekly demos and I don't know who's watching them. It doesn't matter to me who's watching them either because it's all about just helping people get to understanding an idea or understanding a feature or a concept. And that's informal, but it's a way of still providing that mentoring and the articulation of how you do something, why something's important. And yeah, you don't necessarily get that. I mean, that's the thing with Woody coming into the industry now, kind of repeating that cycle from 20 years prior. It's like, right, go and listen to, the Get Out of Rap podcast. Go and listen to Confessions of a Contact Center Geek. Go and listen to half a dozen different views. Don't just listen to me, because I've always come at this from a technology point of view. Go and listen to various people. And I think, to be fair, I think you've recruited about pretty much everyone who's anyone in the CX world who could make a difference, which is really impressive.
Yeah, thank you. I believe that our mentors are just, yeah, I'm very honored to have everyone's part of it. Like really, it's yeah, it's really cool to see.
So, if we think about the sphere of customer experience itself, what's exciting you now, having been on the front line years ago, transitioning to back office, now coming back into customer experience from a different perspective, and being one of those marketers that actually has CX in mind? What's exciting now?
Yeah. So for me, it's always about like if you think about it, like CX is about good vibes when it comes to like trying to enjoy life and not only that, but making others enjoy their day, kind of like thinking of like how can I make this day better for whoever's gonna experience a connection with my brand or with whatever it is, right? Either through a website or through a phone call, email. So what can I do? So it's all about that. Just thinking, whatever, if it's education or entertainment or both, like whatever you're doing, it just really excites me to be able to keep being creative in this. Like technology is evolving crazily, very fast, way faster than this year. For me, it's been like every day something new. and just adapting super fast. So for me, that makes it exciting because again, like enabling what we're talking about, like transferring knowledge, very open with my team. And I tell them same, like I make myself replaceable. Like if I was not here, I want this to operate. Like it doesn't matter if I'm here or not. So I'm always like sharing all the knowledge as much as I can, and I try to be updated with technology, and then just share it with them as well. Experiment a lot, which is also fun for me. It's like I love experimenting. If you see my LinkedIn, I don't post much, but but like right now we're doing some stuff, so I'm gonna be posting about it because we're experimenting with different campaigns, different tools, different technologies and stuff. So yeah, I would say like those are the things, like the advancements in technology and adapting to those, and enabling the team, like working with a team where you can be creative and thinking of like how can we deliver better experience for whatever we're building. Mentor CX, same, right? Like listening to the customers and being evolving into I mean it's really cool to just listen and then build based on that. Like I really enjoy that. Like I didn't think about it, and it's like, oh, all right, 3 people email me about it, or on the LinkedIn DM, and it's like, okay, let's think of how to make it the best way, and then get feedback, and then just do it. So yeah, I think those are a few things that are really exciting. It's good vibes.
And it definitely resonates with me. I've throughout my career talked about playtime. Wherever I've ended up, I'm like engineers playtime, sales playtime, whatever you want to call it. It's just get into the platform, get into something and experiment and break it and have some fun with it and see what you can do and kind of push that envelope a little bit. And I think at the moment, to your point, there's so much you can now do. The technology is advancing so quickly that actually what you can do now versus what you could do even 2 years ago is exceptional. So it's trying to find that time. And there are times where it can be overwhelming. I've got like a list of stuff, the weekly YouTube series, there's like a list of stuff that I want to cover. And I never get to the end of that list because, Zoom will announce like 10 things a month, and then NICE will announce 100 things a quarter. And then you'll start working with another vendor and you're like, right, so actually let's park some of them, we'll come back to them, we'll see where they are.
Yeah.
And you've just got the chance to pivot and to play with stuff. Today at lunch, I was filming a clip of joining a Zoom meeting like this, but from a Meta headset. And I look ridiculous in it, but I wanted to see what the perspective was. And actually what I learned was if you're going to use one, then actually don't then watch the video of it from the Meta device afterwards, because it picks up all your head shaking and things. And obviously I move around quite a lot. But actually the experience was really clean. But it was like, that was one of those things where I'd seen something, to your point. I got inspiration from LinkedIn. Someone mentioned it, that they can now do it. And then I'm like, well, no one else is going to make that video. So why don't I just play?
Yeah.
Normally I just play cricket on the thing and do that really badly and accidentally hit the dog occasionally, and that kind of, to the point where he now leaves the room when he sees me in wearing it. And it's like, but it's having that opportunity to play and having that headspace, because that's really healthy as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for leaders out there, it's like very, very important to make that safe space for your team, and be not just in your mind, right? Like you come in and you do it, and you feel safe, and you think it's like known by your team that it's safe. If you're like make it very explicit, like we book time, for example, for this. Like we have bi-weekly AI innovation, for example, like sync, where we only talk about AI ideas, nothing else. Then we have creative sessions where it's like brainstorm any crazy idea, whatever you want. And then we discuss ideas, right? Brainstorming, no judgment, just whatever. Then we have other stuff, but these are like the main two where it's like really, getting your creative engines going. And I think it's very important to tell people explicitly, like, please experiment and just come up with whatever, and you're safe, and it's okay if it fails or whatever. Like we're gonna discuss more about it anyway, so just go ahead and be open to these things.
I think as well, we tried it at a few places I've been at. We had a concept of 10% time. So the idea that 4 hours a week you'd do your learning. And unfortunately, we tried to get to 5% time first just to see if we can get there. And unfortunately, the business of running the business got in the way of like, oh, I've got that time, but actually I'll do my expenses or I'll update opportunities. But when we started trying to protect it more and more, the other thing we found was not everyone can just take a blank canvas. There'll be times where you'll do those creativity sessions and people want to dive in. There are times where you need to give people a bit of structure of, we're interested in knowing what this does. And that's what I'm kind of doing with it at the moment of like, right, as you start to learn, there are a few things I would like you to now come back and talk to me about, because I haven't got time to digest everything. So I want you to take on that and come back to me. And I think that helps as well. It's like, give the freedom for the playtime, but also give a bit of structure to allow people to be creative, and then hope that they then, so some people will always need that and others will go completely off piste. It's brilliant as well. When you see people then present back an idea, the whole body language is different. Their whole level of enthusiasm is different. And it's just great to see because it's very empowering.
Yeah, 100%. Like that feeling is really cool once you're out and then you get a message from someone like, oh, look at this. I experimented with this. Or like, hey, can you meet for 5 minutes? And then they want to show you it's really cool. Yeah.
You can tell when it works as well. It starts to feed into all different kinds of things. So I'll be working on something, then I'll message someone going, it might have been a throwaway comment, and then it's like, just done this. And then they might respond, yeah, that's cool. And then half an hour later, it'll be like, I've done this now as well. And then they'll come back an hour later and go, well, I've done this. And it starts to perpetuate.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think it's intentionally competitive, but it helps everyone. A bit of creativity goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Completely agree.
We've kind of diverted well away from customer experience, but I think based on what you were saying, kind of creativity is almost one of those biggest opportunities to create exceptional customer experience from what you're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing, right? Like with technology and just best practices for customer experience, like it starts to be kind of, okay, this works, let's do it, and then everything becomes the same. But then also generations evolving, the attention span is evolving, like in everything, and just like expectations from the customers are evolving a lot. So I think one of the big opportunities, like, cool, let's be creative on, sure, this is what works, and how can we enhance that in a creative way so that still use the elements that work, but what else can we try that people don't know about yet because no one has tried it, or just combining things that work in different places. Yeah, that's what I mean with creativity as well, right? Like problem solving as well with some things. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what we'll do is we'll wrap up this half of the podcast, and we'll take a short pause. We'll place our listeners and viewers on hold where they can hear some very creative work from one of my friends who got told, can you just create me a bot and some music, and then we'll come back and we'll ask you about one of your favorite customer experiences.
Awesome.
Your call is important to us. Please hold and you'll be connected to your next favorite customer experience shortly.
Welcome back to my favorite customer experience. I'm Chris, and I'm joined this week by Angel, and we're going to talk about one of his favorite customer experiences. So, Angel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the experience?
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about my most recent customer experience that I liked, because I have a few, and I'm like, I'll just talk about the most recent one. It was actually with this. So I went to the gym, and then I biked back home, and I realized, like, oh, I don't have my ring. It's an Aura ring. And then I'm like, all right, just, I started looking, I'm like, all right, I know I put it in my pocket, which I never do. I always leave it in the locker, and so it was my first time doing something different from my routine, and I was just freaking out, and it was pretty new. It was just like a month I had it like for maybe 5 weeks. So it's pretty recent for me to have it as well. And then I just, called the gym. They're like, oh, I'm in a meeting. I'll check later. And then they said like, no, I didn't find it. But at the same time, I was already like, I went back, I biked, and then I tried to went back to the gym. I looked for it. I didn't find it. But I also didn't think it was there, to be honest. I thought it fell from the bike. So I guess it was not like the word. And then I started biking around, same path. So it's like a 10 minutes. And I was with the app open, so to see if like the Bluetooth would connect.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I have an Android, and Android doesn't have like the Find My Ring yet. They're building it though. So, yeah. So I was just like really, freaking out. And then I'm like, I was getting really upset. And then I said, you know what? It's okay. I guess my time as an Aura customer lasted 5 weeks, and that's it. I don't. That's it. Like I won't get angry right now. I'll process it later. I need to go and work. So, but then I actually said, okay, I'll reach out to customer support and just ask them. Maybe they can find it, like the location. And it was a chatbot, and it was a very annoying chatbot, just telling me that the policies and all this stuff. And I was like, explaining, zero empathy. So I did not like the experience at first, and I was very annoyed. I'm like, wow, this is like an expensive product, and I was expecting like superb customer support, yeah, the chatbot was not up to the standards that I was expecting. So and then I was just like annoyed, and I was giving up already, and it just gave me a lot of things of like, oh, da 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 da, and pretty much saying like there's nothing we can do. And then I said, okay, I'll talk to a human. And then completely the opposite. Like this person was super pathetic, super like it made me feel very, I didn't even know what the resolution was going to be, but it just made me feel calm, like
Yeah.
it was very,
You felt seen.
yeah, exactly. Like really acknowledge every single piece of word I put there, like how I was feeling about it, like how I had saved for it. And just like understood my situation, and really made me feel like, okay, seen, heard, and understood how I felt. And yeah, it was like great experience. They did resolve my problem in a very, very unexpected, nice way. But at the same time, I received a message from the gym person and said, I found your ring. So at the end of the day, like it was yeah, I got my old ring. But just the whole interaction was very, very good. And like I told them like they actually they were gonna replace it just because it's as an exception. And it's a serial number, right? So it doesn't matter that I thought about it. I'm like, if I share this, but I'm like, it's a serial number. You cannot just get a replacement and use two rings or sell the other one. So there shouldn't be any problem. But yeah, I was like, the way it was handled, and just like the way they made me feel very supported and everything, is I told them immediately, like, you just yeah, you got a customer for life. Like it's like I really wanna be associated with their brand in that sense, right? Like yeah, I know it's like a brand that I can rely on, and yeah, completely changed. They should change their bots for sure. And just sorry to talk to him about some feedback there, but the human side of it, it's very, very, very good. And yeah, so I would say like that's my most recent experience I had. Yeah.
So I guess the team at Aura, chatbots, come chat to me. We can help that, so we can put some empathy into that side, because you could have abandoned at that point. And to your point, you were willing to stop being a customer at 5 weeks and go, oh well, other health rings are available, other apps are available. Just happened. And you also had that low expectation, I think, of your gym of like they're not going to find it either. So you actually had two experiences in one that turned around. And it sounds like it's such a missed opportunity almost, of like the bot is there purely for FAQ, no empathy, and isn't empowered, which I know maybe is the wrong term because it's a bot, but the human agent was empowered to empathize, to deliver that service that you talked about. You've spent a lot of money, and you expect therefore your service to meet it. If your cost is here and your service is down here, then you're going to become an ex-customer pretty soon. But actually, it ended up being up here in the end. It exceeded by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we
You
did.
just said customer for life. So they've gone from 5 weeks to, many more years to come, which
Yeah.
is great for them.
And then ambassador, like now I recommend it, it's like as
There you go.
well. Not just like silently tied to my friends. I'm like, oh, you should, if they're considering, I'm like, yeah, you should go with this one. Like it's, really cool and this and that. I mean, it's a great product as well. It's not just because of that experience, but like that is what made me into, yeah, a lifetime customer and an advocate, really. So
And that's the thing. We always asked it to influence your behaviors. And the fact that it turned around from being, all right, I might be done here, shrug of the shoulders, it's a crap chatbot at the end of the day. You've
yeah,
then gone for customer for life, advocate, recommending. They have turned you into the perfect customer for that brand. And with your marketing hat on, you must be like, wow, job well done, guys.
yeah, exactly. It was a customer support interaction that did that. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I can tell from your facial expressions that it obviously made you feel very good as well.
Yeah, 100%. It was, yeah, like again, it was very unexpected because I had already, like, really, I interacted with the bot and it was just like, just not being very helpful. And, yeah, I was very, very, upset, really, like, with the whole thing. So I didn't have my hopes up.
That's the thing, at that point, your expectations are low, both of the gym and of
Yeah,
customer support. And you're like, well, I've just wasted a load of money
yeah,
I was
exactly.
saving. I've got this. So, and then it almost goes to the point of, would you bother again? Because you saved once, because it was so early on in having the ring that you didn't necessarily have that routine of where you put it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and it turned around completely. So wonderful experience, both by the brand and by the gym, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, 100%. And really, like, I consciously thought about it. Like, if I don't find it, like, I would never in my life buy them again. Like,
Yeah.
I was super excited about it. So yeah.
So now that we've heard about your favorite experience, and we heard a lot in the first half about mentors, probably a good time to tell people about the next evolution for mentors and where people can find you as well.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, our website, mentors with S, so plural, mentorscx.com. And yeah, we are actually, by the time this podcast is out, actually, we should have already out our new Nova plan, which is a dedicated mentorship. So right now, as well, the other plans which are Eclipse and Moon. They give you access to our platform and to all the mentors. And, like you can book on-demand sessions, right? Like you can go in and book one session or request a session for a very specific, either issue or very specific, whatever you need help with. But now we also have the dedicated. So, for example, if you have the Moon Plan and you book with 3 or 4 or 5 mentors, and then you're like, okay, I really want to connect with Chris, but in a more, like not structured, but like more committed, like regular sessions, like weekly sessions, then they can, turn off their other plan and then have a dedicated mentorship only with you. And then you would commit to like a weekly session, very similar to like how online therapy, in case people are familiar with it, it's very similar where there's a fixed price and then you have like weekly sessions with them. So yeah, that's the new Nova plan that we just released. And yeah, super excited to hear feedback, and the platform will continue to evolve based on what we hear from our, both mentors and mentees. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Like, I don't know exactly how it's going to look 6 months or a year from now, right? It's going to be based on what we hear. So,
That's the exciting thing now. It's a great time to join. I'm one of many mentors on there. So yeah, as Angel said, you could come and get mentored by me if you really want to hear about old school telephony and all the various different things I've been through over the years. Angel, thank you very much for joining us on my favorite customer experience, and we'll have you back soon, I'm sure.
yeah, thank you so much. And just to end as well, like everyone listening out there, Actually, just, we'll have a very special code for you. It's a coupon where you can request like or get access to like a free month of our Eclipse plan, which gives you access to 2 mentorship calls. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for sharing that. We'll put the details of that in the show notes. So thank you very much for joining us on My Favorite Customer Experience.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, folks. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you for listening to My Favorite CX. Your listenership is important to us. On your keypad, please press a number between 1 and 5 to rank how much you've enjoyed your experience.